Now, two of Britain's top supermarkets go head-to-head today. We'll get half-year results from Britain's still #1 retailer, Tesco, and the most up-to-date trading results from Sainsbury's, the UK's third biggest supermarket chain. Numbers from Tesco are likely to steal the limelight, though. At the start of the year, it issued its first profit warning in 20 years. The numbers should show us if Sainsbury's has been able to take advantage of its rival's relative weakness. Phil Dorrell is a former Asda executive and now a supermarket consultant at Retail Remedy. Good morning, Phil.
Good morning.
So, just so we're clear, tell us what we're getting today from Tesco. This will be very closely watched by the analysts who've been worried that Tesco's successful run is coming to an end.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is really an update on their 6-point plan that they released in the 18th of April this year. And clearly Tesco have had some troubled times. I mean, you don't lose a third of your share price without going through the mill a little bit. And Philip Clark came quite clearly out with a 6-point plan that he wanted to implement, looking at service and staff, more staff for existing stores, stores and format, faster store refresh programme, price and value, better prices and promotions.
He effectively admitted that the stores weren't up to scratch, didn't he? And that they needed a revamp.
Right. And I think he was absolutely right. And, you know, now's the test as to whether this 6-point plan is actually being executed well and whether it's making an effect.
Without going through every single one of those 6 points, I mean, do you think that they're heading in the right direction?
It's a good question. I think that we visited one of the refresh stores in the East End of London with a load of city investors probably about a month ago.
The refresh stores, this is where they're trying out the new format.
Yeah, I mean, they've been criticised for being a bit boring, for being a bit staid, for not being an exciting shopping experience, and, you know, all those criticisms are absolutely true. So what they needed to do is to make those stores more interesting for people to shop, and they've done a job of work on probably about 12 so far. We visited one in the East End of London with a load of city investors, and I've got to say it was a small step change rather than the quantum leap that they probably require.
What about the service side of things? Because you've worked for Asda in your past, and
yes,
service is crucial, isn't it? And Philip Clark, the chief executive of Tesco, also admitted that the service wasn't up to scratch. What do they have to do to get that right?
I think the big thing that they have to do is they have to invest in the right areas. They have to make sure that they've got a very clear vision as to what their stores are wanting to be. And I think that's the real difference between them and Sainsbury's. If I interviewed the Sainsbury's board, I'm sure that every single one of them would have a really clear understanding of where their stores were going to be in 5 years' time and what the plan was. And the emotional aspects of the customer shopping experience. I really think that Tesco have completely lost that.
Tell us more about those emotional aspects. What do you mean there?
Well, I don't mean people going in and crying, although perhaps that's probably what Philip Clark has been thinking.
Sometimes
about.
I do that at the checkout.
Yeah, well, you probably have to pay too much, and that's why you're thinking of crying. But no, I think that the emotional experience is winning the hearts and minds of customers, making sure that they are feeling part of the shopping environment, not that it's just a machine that they're shopping.
And how do you make them feel that? How do you get to customers' hearts and minds?
By engaging them, by making sure that your colleagues in the store are well trained, understand customer service, understand really what customers need, and making sure that your whole offer is really clearly organised towards your current and future customers.
Where's the squeeze on margins coming from, the suppliers or the consumers?
I would suggest that the suppliers are probably the ones who are feeling the squeeze on margin. The consumers are probably seeking out better prices at all the times, Mickey, because it's a very, very cutthroat business out there, and promotional expenditure in the UK has probably been growing over the last 5 years to nearly 20% now.
Yeah, I mean, something like 40% of goods are bought on multi-buys or similar offers, aren't they? Give us an idea, if you would, just what the level of profit margin is on your typical supermarket. Are you talking 5% or 6%?
Yeah, a net margin. I mean, the product margins they're making are between 25 to 28%.
Right.
At a goods level.
But that's before you pay your costs.
Yeah, absolutely. And so they'll make between 4 to 8% margin at a net level.
Okay, but do you think that the likes of Tesco and Sainsbury's can fight off the competition from the discount retailers when there is such a focus on price at the moment, Aldi and Lidl opening stores everywhere?
Yeah, and I think there's lots of good words been said about Aldi's growth and Lidl's growth, but one mustn't forget they are growing very rapidly from quite a small base, and they're still nowhere near the market share dominance that the likes of Tesco have got. you've got to remember that Tesco are still the biggest beast in the jungle, the biggest hitter. And although they've been wounded, undoubtedly been wounded in the last 6 months to 12 months of trading, they will come back, and they'll come back strong.
It's not a mortal wound. Thank
No.
you. Thank you, Phil Dorrell there from Retail Remedy.